Well, we welcome, guys, to the Seduction Studio. Today's Friday, right? Yes, Friday. Yeah. I'm in Romania, and my house is full of girls right now. So hopefully, as you can't hear it, I locked myself in my room. And
Poor you, poor you, Zan.
yeah. They said, we'll be here when you come out. They're having some wine and gossiping, of course. So I am very pleased to bring to this call our esteemed guest, the lovely Javier, who we've known for a number of years, who's been a fantastic guest and associate and partner and alliance with Ars Amrata, based in Valencia, Spain. He's still there, right, Javier?
Yeah, we are here and waiting for all of you, not only for you, Stan, that you have a house here, but also for all the followers. You have, I know that you all guys love and respect Ars Amrata.
Yeah.
You can share that emotion for Egoland because you are brothers and you are always welcome, of course.
Yeah, so I mean, some of you guys have met Javier in person. He's been at many of our conferences and etc. Now, I'll just give a quick sort of introduction. Javier and his associates at Egoland is one of the premier, or maybe the premier, self-development, excellence for men type of conferences and workshops and programs and books for the Spanish-speaking world. And so these guys are well known, probably more well known than Ars Amrata. I expect they are for sure, because they're the number one in the Spanish-speaking world from South America, Central America, Spain. They're very well known, and since the day we met years ago in Portugal, we've had this great, strong understanding that those guys are doing some very similar philosophies and energies for the Spanish-speaking world, and have been for a number of years as Ars Amrata. So we've been a sister company. We have high respect for them, and we invite any of you Spanish-speaking guys to go and seek out their work. And I just wanted to bring Javier here as a guest and have some laughs and tell some stories about what they've been doing, and that's Egoland. So do you want to give a further introduction, Javier?
Well, I'm very pleased with your introduction and with talking with you. As I always, when I give workshops or when I'm invited to conferences with fun, the first thing that I do is to say sorry for my English, because I feel that I have to repeat words or anything because my accent is this very Spanish accent. So if you think that I don't explain anything in the best way, just tell me and I try different strategies of communication. I can draw or something. And
sign language.
as you said, we are a team of two psychologists, two experts of communication and marketing, one sexologist, that is Laura, and me, that I am sociologist and political scientist. It's called. I studied political science and sociology.
Wow.
So we work as a team, and we give workshops and content not only for men. The more years at the beginning was 99% of our public men, but with the years, every year there are more and more girls. And in fact, our next workshop this weekend, this very weekend, no, the next one in Barcelona is for women.
Wow.
And we are very happy with that, because maybe we will talk about this in this webinar. No, that it's.
Wow.
I feel that seduction it's every day more about person, about people, about how deep is each one of us, and not anymore about easy tags, easy labels, about she is a woman, so she wants this and this and this. I think that has no sense anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And we are like working always, like giving workshops.
Is it mainly in Spain, your workshops, Javier?
Sorry?
Is it mainly in Spain, your
Yeah,
workshops?
mainly in Spain. Yeah. It's true that in our courses, some people from Mexico, from Colombia, from the States, or from Zurich also, some people from other places of the world, they come to Spain for our courses. But for the time being, we are giving workshops in the cities of Spain: Seville, Madrid, Barcelona, and Valencia.
Have you thought about going to something like Mexico or Colombia or something?
Many times we think about that, and many people in our Facebook and they told us, and many times we think about that. And we are not going mainly because we have a lot of work in Spain, and our workshops are
busy.
full. Our workshops are not the amount of students. It's limited because we think that we should work like very personal way. In my workshops, for example, the workshop that I teach more is seduction at day game. No, it's called in the world, and it's maximum for students. So we don't have time to go to Mexico and these kind of things. And there is another reason that I can confess here, that we are all brothers. Well, when you from Romania give content and give anything, workshops, online webinars, you are accessing, you have many markets in English, more powerful, strong economy than Romania. But when in the Spanish world, when you give a workshop or when you give a content, the most powerful market is Spain. The economy in the Spanish language that is higher is the Spanish. And the Spanish is not a very in the world, is not a very strong economy. It's okay, but that's a weakness from the Spanish language point of view, because when I publish, when we put in the website some courses, and the price it's 100. For Spanish people, it's okay to pay 100, but for many people of Mexico, of Colombia, or Peru, 100 euros.
That's a lot, yeah.
So that is also something that we have to, when we calculate about pros and cons, we have to think in that. It's true that our books, for example, I have one book about, well, we have many books, no? In fact, I was a bit marketer here, and it's here, the books of Egoland. I put it in the webinar. But I have, because if not, the company is going to tell me, hey, you do a webinar and you put our books, because we are very happy and we're very proud of them, no? As you can be of our Alabaster Girl. But some of the books, is true that we are selling many books, thousands of books in Mexico and in Argentina and these kind of things. Even in Cuba. Yeah.
Javier, just a thought I had too, because I remember talking to you in Amsterdam. Like, you're always worried about your English, but your English is strong enough and good enough that you could actually teach and represent yourself and show up for guys in the English language. You could do it. Have you ever thought about doing that?
Sometimes in Spain, I give workshops, and also I was 1.5 months in New York, and I give workshops there. And by the way, on 29th of December, I'm going to Australia for 1.5 months, and maybe I will give some workshops there. I think sometimes in that, and maybe in the future. You told me sometimes.
Yeah.
maybe in the future we will adapt the website to in English, because nowadays in Spanish it's very easy to find us. Even when somebody try to find how to pick up, how to seduce, how to make fall in love a man, even with that kind of things, Google find us very fast. But if people in the English market try to find us, it's a bit more difficult.
Right.
So if we want to do that step, we have to do some work with the website. So by the time being, we maybe in the future. But in any and thanks for telling me that my English is good. But as you, I have a lot of respect for the language and for the word. So even if my English is not bad, the first thing that I have to do is to say to say sorry, because I would love to be able to express myself like I express myself in Spanish.
Except Javier, I'll say this, because I mean, I've been with you, hung out with you guys a lot, and I remember in Amsterdam, the girls were with you, like Diana and everybody, right? You remember that? And you're on the street of Amsterdam speaking only English because nobody's speaking Spanish to you in Amsterdam, right? And what you have and your associates have is this great, what we talk about all the time in our genre, which is great mischief energy, which is a great fun. Everything you do is fun. It has to be fun. There's no seriousness in it. There's fun for the girls that you're talking to. It's fun for you. It's an inviting spirit. It's the whole thing. And like I said, I'm there, like you're Spanish speaking native, but you're speaking English to Dutch girls with Romanian girls that were hanging around you, looking and laughing, and they couldn't stop talking about it. This is a great, beautiful energy. This is a perfect. So more than the precision of the words, you embody something that is like magnificent to see and to capture. So just want to say that.
Yeah, and the people, it's nice enough and cute enough to forgive if I make a mistake or these kind of things. It's true, you said something that is very important for us. One thing that we have like different phrases or thoughts that we repeat a lot, and one that is always in our theory.
Your philosophy
is what we call in Spanish las tres H's, that in Spanish is humor, humildad y honestidad. That in English is humor, honesty, and humility.
Wow.
And it's that three words represent some of our, well, we think that it should be when we teach, and also for people that want to seduce and to improve the relation. Humor, because everything works better, and humor, it's a sign of intelligence.
Yep.
And also it's sexy, the humor.
Yep.
On the other hand, humility, because I remember when I was studying, I studied 1 year in Madrid, 1 year in Holland, and 1 year in Argentina. And I remember one teacher that he was like 60 years old, very, very well-known sociologist in Spain. I could live 3 lives and I will not know, I will don't have the culture that this man has. And he used to say, the man who knows the most knows a little. So the man who knows the most, he just know a little. So I think that humility is important, and honesty, because it's a way of respect for the other person and freedom for yourself. When somebody is honest, I think that is giving respect for the rest of the people, and at the same time, it's a sign of that you are free if you feel the power of being honest. And I think that you talk a lot about this in Arsa Morata also.
That's fantastic. I like that. In English, it's the 3 H's: humor, honesty, and humility. Yeah. And you described it perfectly. It is the essence of everything that we try and understand in Arsa Morata too.
I think so.
And you need all of it. And I've been saying for years, guys are too serious, too serious. Like if I've hung out with you, Javier, we're never serious when we're together.
Yeah,
and we're talking to girls, there's nothing serious about it. It's a joy.
I'm missing it the very moment that you start talking about Amsterdam and about that night and about you and me talking with that there were some girls also from Colombia. I was missing it. Maybe after the webinar, I'm going to take a flight and go there.
I've got a couple of questions here. I'm going to just from the guys here. Let me just see what you got here. First, Rob asks, where are you going to be in Australia, Javier? Where in Australia?
The most of the days probably in Canberra, because I have some friends there, and I'm from Canberra probably, or I will go some days or some weekends to Sydney, and maybe I will rent a van and travel with. I mean, I didn't plan. Every year I do a trip of 1 month and a half because I have to feed the sociologist soul, you know. You
have to like go experience it on the ground.
Yeah,
not just theory.
And for sociologists, are important to remember always that what you think that is normal is not normal.
Yeah.
And everything can be different. And for traveling, that's important because when you travel, you can feel that not only in a theoretically understanding, that you can integrate that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
That what you feel that is normal in some moment, it's not.
So Rob is a native Australian, but he's living in Rome right now. Is that correct? Rob, you still there? So, but he messaged that he's going to be in Australia. He's going to he'll be there same time. So.
And maybe we can meet, of course.
And then I got another question from Carrie, which is, how do you convey humility in an interaction? How do you show humility in a girl you just met?
Well, I think I can't imagine other way. Well, for example, I'm going to give a very real example. Imagine that you are a girl, you or any one of the guys that are watching this webinar. The first thing that I did is say sorry because of my English. I didn't pretend in front of you that I am the best speaker person or that my English is wonderful. No, the first thing I did is sorry. Do you like me less or more? Because I show humility, and it's true humility because I think that I can make mistakes. So for me, it's the same way. I think that if with you, I can, in a way of respect you, I can be humble when I'm with a girl and I approach her and I say, for example, sorry because I don't want to interrupt, but I want to tell you that I saw you before and I think that you dress wonderful, and I saw you laughing with your friend, and I really would like to meet you, but I don't want to interrupt. So maybe we can talk now, or maybe I come later with a good joke and we try to talk in 10 minutes or something, for example. Or when sometimes I ask the girls, hey, sorry, this night is the official night of friends, only girls night, that nobody can talk with you, even if I try to be very polite and I am not drunk. It's that official night that you can't talk with anybody, or we are sociable and we can talk with anybody and we can chat and we can have fun. You know, I do that. I ask if they are, because you know that sometimes you approach a girl at night and they say, hey, now tonight we are in girls' night. We don't want to talk with anybody. So the first thing I do is to ask. And many times the girl answer me, well, in that way, yes, you can stay. If you ask,
What do you ask? What do you ask?
Why I ask?
No, what do you ask? What do you say?
I said, it's difficult to explain this in English, but as I know that sometimes they reject us because they say, hey, please, not now because we are in girls' night.
Girls' night out, yep.
So the first thing that I do is to approach and say, sorry, girls, tonight is the official and sacred night of only girls, or we can talk everybody and we can have fun and we can, because I would love that. And they laugh, and then they open, and it's more easy to understand. And sometimes they say, well, I'm with my friend, but we can talk a bit. They are more open that if I go in this not humble way,
wow,
very, very secure, very sure that what I'm going to say is better than what they are saying. The opposite of being humble, for me, it will be to approach them being sure that I don't interrupt, that what I want to say is more important than what they are doing. Maybe that is a way of being secure of yourself. But I don't want to be so secure that I don't respect and pay attention. And I prefer to be humble and in this way. I don't know if I'm explaining myself in English. If you are...
You said it perfectly, Javier, and I like this because I learned something just now from you, which is you see a group of girls and the first thing you say, which is a great thing. I never thought of this before. You say, is this girls' night out? I want to check in on that because that's a beautiful thing to say. I never thought of that. That is brilliant. Take note of that, guys. What a great thing to say to a group of girls, because I can see immediately the effect of it, which is it's an honor. You're honoring them. You're not being invasive, which is a big key Ars Amorata principle. Don't ever be invasive. And you're being fun and funny and entertaining, and it's a cool thing.
And I'm acting. I'm showing up.
That's cool.
That's the 17% of the success many times.
I'm going to remember that myself. That's cool. It's a good way to open a group. Is this a girls' night out? Because I want to make sure that I'm not, violating some space here. And it's a beautiful thing to do. And that's cool.
The more funny you do it, sometimes I say, well, this is the official sacred, because I don't want to. And they say, well, this is our girls' night, as how they laugh, and it's more probable that they make an exception.
That's cool.
And sometimes you can let them speak for 15 minutes or 20 minutes. You go to talk with other girls, to be with your friends, and 20 minutes later you come again. Hi girls, how is going the night? There is a change. We can, and many times after the good stimulus that you gave to them, the good approach. Yeah. In the second approach, you are somebody that you were brave and at the same time not invasive. And that's one of the key points for me in seduction. The balance between what I want to respect myself and respect my desires and what the other person maybe wants, maybe don't want, maybe. And if I try to invade, I'm respecting myself, but I don't respect it. But if I don't approach, I'm respecting the other person, but I don't respect myself.
You know, Javier, your last 30 seconds that you just said is the key, what every guy needs to know. And that's all they need to know. Yeah. To put yourself forward in a beautiful energy of going forward, but at the same time never be invasive. That's fantastically said. That's cool, man. Really cool.
Equilibriums has been the key, for many things, for happiness, for success. Equilibriums, balance. It's always the key.
So let me ask a couple more questions here from the guys. From Steponis, he says, does honesty have boundaries? If you feel that your honesty might hurt a girl, do you still choose to speak it? Or because of humility, do you bend the answer or adjust the answer in the way the girl would not be hurt? So if your girl asks you, do I look fat in these pants?
Well,
are you brutally honest?
It's a very good answer. I can see the good level of the people that is in this webinar. For me, the honesty ends where start the politeness, to be polite. You know, you don't, and when it's something that is not useful at all. And what if to tell a girl that is fat first is nothing polite, and you are never too polite. One of the few things that you are never too much, I think that is polite.
Yeah.
And you can be very brave, you can be very secure of yourself, but being polite. And on the other hand, my honesty ends where the polite starts, and also in a rational way, I say, why? What is the point of telling?
What does it serve? Yeah.
This fat is not. Yeah. There is many ways of being honest, because there is not. There is many ways of in communication of arriving to an honest answer, and depending on the way you are being brutal, or you can be polite, you can be sensible, you can be empathy, you can have empathy. So I think you have to be honest, but choose the way that in the way that you like more yourself. And I don't like myself telling somebody you are fat. I don't like myself. I think that's how I would, for many times when I have to ask myself what I should do, is how I like myself more.
That, that's a great answer, and I've had answered the same exact thing when I've been asked this question. It's like you have to be honest, but you also have to be in service of the other, to honor the other. So your honesty needs to be in service of the other, as opposed to knocking them down or making them. There's social graces around it, and it's perfect. That's exactly what it is. That's a good answer.
Also, because I think that, the words, when you communicate something, is a thought that you communicate, and is traveling. The thought travels to the mind, to the other person. And that thought, that bird, is going to keep in the mind of the other person, even if tomorrow or in 1 hour you think another thing. So it's a way also of being how is the word? Prudente. I'm going to check one moment the
okay,
word.
Yeah.
Prudente. To be prudent.
Prudente, yeah, prudent. To be prudent.
Because
yeah.
It's something that I think that it's a lie, is that we don't think always the same. Maybe I think something of somebody now, and tomorrow when I am rested, when I am more happy, maybe I think in a more positive way. So even for that reason, it's better to make the effort of communicating in a sensible way, to be honest in a way that maybe the Javi of tomorrow don't regret. Because how many times in discussions with our mother, with our brothers, you say something that at the next day, or you say, well, I said because I was tired, because I was mad, because I had a bad day, but that was not the truth. So it's a way also of being prudent.
Yeah.
Please, Zan, if anything that I explain doesn't, I don't explain it well, tell me and I try to find it.
You guys all understand what he's saying, right? You understand? I get everything you're saying, Javier. I think it's brilliant what you're saying. And I think it's, and I don't hear this very often. You have an understanding that is very much aligned with what we're trying to understand. And there's not many people that have that. Like, a guy asks a question, you're answering the same thing that I would answer in different words. But I'm thinking that's cool. You've got some experience and some energy. You've been doing this a long time. So, you know, that's cool.
Because we are cousins, fun.
Okay, now here's a question from Sam.
Long hair cousin of Spain.
Exactly. We got to stick together, huh?
Yeah, of course.
You guys have to grow long hair. Sam, Peter, you got to grow. Carrie, you got to grow your hair out, buddy.
In Amsterdam, we make the joke some days that you were my son. We were with girls, and I say to the girls, "Hey, he's my son. He's not cute."
You wish, buddy. You wish.
Javier, I want to say this before I forget too, because I might forget before the end of the call. But we're going to have it looks like 99% our Amrati conference for the spring is going to be in Portugal. So you guys are obviously invited.
I think that Vegas, no, the next one is in Vegas.
No, we just did Vegas.
Oh, you did it. Okay.
Yeah, we did it. Now the next one in May is going to be in Portugal. So obviously, guys come.
Vegas is quite far for me, but Portugal, 90% that I will be there because I once per year I have to be with you. It's like a medicine to share energy, and also because I love Portugal. Portugal, it's like
Yeah, me too.
Mania. Many people don't know it, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah. So here's a question from Sam. How do you balance fun playfulness with sexual edge? I guess, in other words, how can you be fun and make it interesting and playful, but also have a sexual energy to it?
Yeah. Well, in the, the first steps when I teach sexualization, the first steps that I teach it with humor, because sexualization, it's like a very fast and powerful car, and you have to be careful because you, depending on the moment, you can't go that fast. So I think in the sexualization, in how you communicate your sexuality, you have to go in this direction, like this and go a bit down, this and go a bit down, this and go a bit down. Because if you do that, you are going to crash. You are going to ruin it. Mm-hmm. And you have to do a balance seduction with humor, with rational. We always, in our balance, we always talk in three ways. That is emotional, rational, and sexual. And this can have to be always three ingredients that has to be balanced, no? But I'm going to give an example of a communication tool that I give to the students that is called decir sin decir. That in English it will be like to say without saying. And it's, for example, this thing. For example, imagine that I am telling I arrive to one place and I tell to one girl, oh, I think that you, excuse me, I think that when somebody thinks something good of somebody, should say it. And I think that you dress very well. And the girl say, oh, thanks. And when we will have more confidence, I will say something about your lips. But now it's too soon because I don't know you. There is not confidence to tell you anything about your lips. So I didn't say anything. That's a way of, she's going to understand, she's going to get the message of sexual, but at the same time, he's going to laugh. And it's, for example, another way of doing the same is like, hey, well, I want to tell you that I think that you have a lovely hair, and also I would like to tell you that your legs are amazing, but I am too shy to say it, so I can't say anything.
So I won't say it.
In the future, if I feel more brave, we will talk about your legs. But now I'm too shy to say it. This represents for me a very good balance between humor and sexualization. And it's very important because if something can make better the sex, is the humor, of course, because the humor is sexy. And when the person, and you can say this very very thing that I just said, you can say to the girl. If she's laughing, you can say, well, I love humor because I think that it's a sign of intelligence and it's sexy. Do you agree that it's sexy? Oh yeah, I agree. Oh, lovely. Then I'm going to give you a kiss here because I love that. I found that you are funny and sexy, for example. So I think that is like that. And always it's equilibrium. I'm not talking about being a clown.
No.
That is when you lose the balance. I'm not talking about always making fun or jokes. And even sometimes, for example, you know Jago and you know Antoni, some of my colleagues in Egoland, sometimes we sacrifice exists in English?
Sacrifice, yeah.
Sometimes we sacrifice seduction for the sake of humor. Yeah,
I 100% agree because it's amusing.
But this is another way. Then you are not betting. You are not your bet is not for the seduction. Then it's about having fun and doing crazy, stupid things. And sometimes if you go too far with the crazy with your friends, the girl can say, "Well, this is too much for me." But maybe you have the best night of your
exactly. And I tell you, the girls from Amsterdam, like the Romanian girls and that you were with that night, they still talk about it. Remember that night with those guys? So you were maximizing your experience of you, and everybody's caught up in the energy of it and having fun. And it was a brilliant. It was just exactly what you're talking about. It's like you never sacrifice your own joy.
Yeah.
What's the point? Exactly. It has to be joyful.
If not this, there is no sense. No, we can,
yeah. What's the point?
Because it's seduction, communication, anything has to be in the direction of happiness.
Yeah.
So if you don't find in that way laugh and humor, that is not the way.
What's the point? Yeah.
In the way is about happiness. You seduce because you want to be happy. You seduce because you choose a way. So in that way there is laughs, there is good stories, there is emotion, there is reaction in that way. And I hope it's important to understand that reaction is part of the way. And if you don't find all that kind of things, then you are not working you are not in the right way. Then do another thing in life and do a garden or many other things because in life is you can do many things. Be a monk if you want. But if you choose this way of seduction, in the way should be humor, should be laughs, and should be emotions, and should be connections, and should be reactions, and these kind of things.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, well, I got a question for you, Javier, which is this. Like, I'm Canadian from the frozen north and the conservative British inheritance. And so we have a British culture, even though my father's Ukrainian, et cetera, right? But we have that British sense of men are men, men don't show emotions, the whole thing. And the Latin culture and from Mexico, for instance, and from Colombia and from Spain, these are the lovers of the world that move with hot-blooded energy, and the women are like the, hot-blooded. And so my question is this: what, because I know the English speaking world, I'm talking about Germany, England, Scandinavia, where the guys are, you know, like Canadians and Americans, they're blocked and they're trying to understand their sexual energy. What is the number one thing you think is in the Spanish speaking world, the block that men have? Like, what is the thing that they need to understand the most when you do your seminars or programs or that sort of thing?
Like the main difficult, you mean?
The main difficulty they have, for Canadians, the main difficulty is to show any kind of sexual energy. We're all completely conservative, right?
Yeah, I know. Well, I was thinking in this question, and sometimes I think on that. And also before the interview, I write, because I have like 4 WhatsApp groups with all the students of Seville, Barcelona, Madrid, and Valencia. With like more than 300 students in that WhatsApp groups. Some of them told me, "Hey, say to Zan that his book and his videos changed my point of view." So I had to tell you. In fact, I read it in one student from Seville that he told me, "Hey, please say to Zan, thanks." So I'm telling you. And something that is very common maybe are 3 things. One is that the worst enemy that they have is themselves. We reject ourselves before the life or the girls reject us. It's a way of protection, but also it's a way of losing many opportunities. So they have to beat themselves. The main enemy that they have is themselves. So you have to fight yourself, to be more positive, to don't always, when you don't understand anything, don't take the worst explanation for you. For example, if a girl doesn't answer the message, the many guys, they think, well, I am not handsome, I am not funny, I ruin it because I write her, and maybe she had problems with the job. Maybe there are hundreds of explanations that has nothing to do with you. And many guys, the first thing that they are very artistic in always finding a way of attacking himself. So many times in the seminars I say, you are your worst enemy and you have to beat yourself. The second thing that I think that is like a common difficult is to communicate sex. So in this way, it's a bit similar to many other people in the world, probably to many students, many not as difficult as, for example, a Japanese. I was 1 month in Tokyo, and I'm sure that people from Spain or from Mexico, they are more able to communicate the sexual emotions than Japanese guys, I'm sure. But even with that, it's a challenge to communicate in a sexual way, because they have to understand that the problem is not to have desire. The problem is not that you want sex. The real problem is that when you don't want sex. For example, when many people know, well, if you are 3 years with your couple or 1 year and you don't desire her, you don't want sex, that's a problem. But if you are with a girl on a date and you love how sexual you feel, that's something to celebrate and to be proud of. At the same time, you have to be sensible, because probably that girl doesn't want her to feel that you only want her because of sexual issues. And that's something that you have to work. But the sexual part is nothing that you have to be shame of. A way of respecting yourself, it's a way of saying, well, I feel this, I feel sexual desire, and I can say it. And that's very important. That's one challenge. And in fact, there is one workshop only about sexualización, we say in Spanish, that is the way of communicate your sexual energy or your sexual desire.
Mm-hmm.
And the third issue that is like my big fight as sociologist is that I'm trying to explain to all my students to stop trying to think in terms of labels or tags, like the woman want this, and this. Maybe in the 1920, 80 or 90% of the woman was a woman that was at home, always reading the same, and maybe they were more or less similar. But this is the moment of the history where there are girls that they earn more money than
international.
Never. Some of them, they finish a relation with somebody and now they just want sex. Some of them, they were having sex for 1 year and now they want a relation. And the same with the man. Something that is very funny for me is that sometimes one of my students, girl, because we have also a woman, she wrote me a message and she told me, hey, this guy gave me the number and we met, but now he is like losing interest and he doesn't want to, seems that he is not speaking honest with me. And at the end she said, every day I understand less the men. The men are impossible to understand. And the same day, one of my students, man, sent me a message saying, I met one girl and now she is not answering me and every day I understand the woman. And then I said, well, it's because it's not anymore about men or women. It's about people. And there are many women that are more similar to you than some men. There are many men that has nothing to do with Zan, with the emotions of Zan, with the knowledge of Zan, with the interest of Zan. And I can find some girls, probably Diana, that has more things to do with you than women. I can find millions of women that are humans very different than Diana. And this is like something very difficult to overpass or to
overcome.
Trying to be sensitive to how complex is that person that you are saying in the message or that you are approached, and stop making big groups and big simple explanations, because I think that doesn't work that anymore. And nowadays it's amazing because some people can hear music of the United States. Some people can watch movies of French cinema. Some people can read one thing and some people can travel a lot. It's not anymore. Maybe 100 years ago was much more simple to make label, make tags. But nowadays, every person it's a world, and I think that it's important to be sensitive with that. I think
that's a great answer.
I have an example of that, but I don't know if I am like talking too much.
No. This is all about you. They've heard me talk lots. So give your example, brother.
To finish, there's one example that I give to the students. Maybe 1 year ago, I there was one girl that I met in the street, and she gave me the phone, but she was not answering. She gave me the phone in person, but later she was not answering. Okay. Every 2 weeks or something like that, I used to send her a message to say something positive, to share something beautiful. And someday she answered me and she told me, sorry for not answering you. I was in a very bad moment. And she sent me the pictures of her arm with cuts. Because she was trying to commit suicide. And stupid of me, I was thinking, oh, maybe I was not funny enough. Maybe I didn't say the right words. Maybe. And the last thing that girl, that person was worried about in that moment was about me, about that guy with no hair who approached her, because she was in a very bad moment of the life that she was trying to suicide. And the same day, a girl that I met in Tinder 2 hours ago was sending me pictures naked and telling me to come home straight. You know, and that makes me think, any explanation that put in the same box the first girl and the second girl just because they are girls, I think that is stupid. Did I explain myself?
No, I'm trying to understand. Like, I get your point.
I talk about the two girls.
Two girls, yeah, and one girl had this feeling like, I'm not thinking about Javier at all because I'm worried about killing myself.
Yeah.
Second girl.
The first girl was a girl that was not answering me in some moment because she was in a committing suicide.
She's caught up, yeah.
And the second girl was a girl that I met 2 hours ago by Tinder.
Yeah.
And she was sending me pictures naked.
Yeah.
And telling me to come
very open.
Very open and telling me to come to my home to have sex. Okay. So any explanation about action that try to put that two humans in that very day, in the same box, in the same
I see.
I think that any theory of seduction that try to put that two humans in the same explanation, I think that is a bad seduction theory. It's
that I understand now. Yeah, Javier, it's like saying that something you did. No, I understand exactly what you're saying. People have their own experiences out there. Some are open, and we are blaming ourselves for all of the experiences. Yeah. We're blaming ourselves because the girl's not interested in me, and we're in our heads thinking about, yeah, that's fantastic. I understand now. Yeah.
That people has interdifference. That is called in sociology. It's called interdifferencias. The interdifference means that there is people that different people, and the girl who is committing suicide, it's in a very very different in that moment that a girl that wants to come to the house to a stranger to have sex with a stranger. But also there is intra differences, not only inter but also intra. That means that you maybe you don't want the same now that 2 years ago, and you are fun also, but maybe you are not interested now that you are in the way that you are with Diana and in the way you are with Arsa Morata, and maybe the fan of 5 years ago was different, and he would make another choices. So I think that's important when we try to seduce, because it's a way to seducing. Also, it's a way to having the keys the emotions and to the hearts, and to the complexity of the human. So
No, that's great. That's great, Javier. We've basically been an hour now, so usually these calls are about an hour. I'm going to recap, I think. I'm going to try anyway, what you said, because I took notes.
That's
yeah, because it's very interesting and very cool. I want to know this for myself. So I took my own notes on my phone here while you were talking. So you talked about the three things that are important for any interaction, for any experience, and which stands you above the rest of the men, which is humor, honor, humility. So guys, write this down. This is brilliant. This is coming from Javier. This is from Egoland, from the Spanish viewpoint and from your experiences. Yeah.
These three words it's something that Luis, the director of Egoland, tried to explain in any web seminar, because the director of Egoland, I am one of the colleagues, but the director is Luis. In fact, in the future, we should do some seminars in Spain together, or some presentation, Luis and you together, because I'm completely sure that you will enjoy a lot. He's musician also, so you will understand each other well.
That's cool. And then I like this. I wrote it down because I think it's a great thing to say to a group of girls that are out. You say, "Is this an official and sacred, honoring everything, girls' night out?" That's brilliant. I like that. That's a great way of opening up a group of girls, because most guys are they're trying to be cool and interesting and break into the group, and the girls are defensive. So that demonstrates the humility you talked about. I think that's fantastic of you. Then I wrote this, which is a great sentence that you said: "You can never be too polite." What does it serve, to be brutally honest if you're not serving the other and making the other feel alive and energetic and invited? So and you said a great phrase, which is this: there's many ways of being honest. And I believe that 100%. I've said that in the past too. And you can be brutal or polite or sensible. These are your words. I'm saying your words, and I wrote it down. You can be brutal, polite, or polite honest. You can be brutal honest, or polite honest, or sensible honest. And what is best serving that person as a human, as an experience of meeting you? You're not misrepresenting. You're not lying. You're not any of these things. So I wrote that down. I'm just summarizing what I took from your talk. And then I like this too. Your practical example you gave. "I want to say that your legs are fantastic, but I'm too shy to say it. So maybe we can talk about that later. So I won't say that. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say your legs are great. I'm not going to mention it because I'm too shy." That's brilliant. That encompasses everything we're trying to talk about. Beautiful.
And I think that suits very good with your personality also.
Yeah, and I'll give you credit all the time, every time I say it to a girl, Javier. That's cool. And then the other thing I wrote down was, I wrote down this beautiful closing thought you had, which is, you're out there trying to be this cool guy, trying to be interesting, trying to be funny, trying to engage with women, trying to have a great adventure, trying to make great memories. And you meet a girl who you like, and you send her a message every couple of days, and nothing comes back. And then she finally says, "You know what? I was in a dark place. I was cutting myself, and I was suicidal." At the same time, you met another girl who was sending you nude pictures and saying, "Come over to my house and have sex with me." And we think that we're so caught up in ourselves. We think we're creating everything in this world, and we don't recognize that that the girls are humans themselves going through their own experiences, and we blame ourselves for the good stuff or for the bad stuff, right? And we don't know what happened with the good stuff. So that's brilliant. I wrote all that down.
You are a great student.
Yeah, I like it. I want to know this too. This is cool. So Javier, how can they find? Your book, for instance. Like, how can the guys like give it to Serene so we can post it on our Marathi group, and so that they can find, you know, like we've got a lot of Spanish speakers, for instance, and or your work or whatever, and we invite you to also to come in May in Portugal. So
I will go. I'm going to try to go because I always enjoy a lot to share energy and laughs and
yeah, we'll let you know the exact dates and the location. Probably gonna be Lisbon, right, Serene? Probably.
Yeah, most probably Lisbon, of course.
Yeah, and then but give the links for your book and everything to Serene, and we'll, you know, we want our guys to have access to your work and your workshops and program and stuff, Javier.
Perfect.
I think it's great.
Thank you very much, Javier.
It's my pleasure.
Wait one sec.
Yeah. Right. Diana has to say hello.
He runs.
Yeah, come say hi.
Is the guy there?
Well, it doesn't matter. Hang
The
on.
bonus.
Say hi. I told him Javier's on the look.
Hey, where's Javier?
Are you there?
Hi, hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, muy bien.
Te extrañamos mucho.
¿Sabéis que tenéis que venir a España?
He's coming to Portugal in May.
Yeah?
Nice.
I'll be there in May. Yeah. Invited. So,
In May, yeah. Sorry. Anyway, the girls wanted to say hi to you, of course.
thanks for that.
So
That's wonderful.
it's been great, Javier. Fantastic. I took a lot of notes, and I think it's you're doing a good service. You're a good man, and you're one of us, 100%.
If in the future
So,
you want to repeat, or I can help you in anything, please don't hesitate.
Can you send me some money? Can you send me some girls, some Spanish girls? You can help me with that.
You can work on that. I think that is illegal, but I can try.
Okay, guys, thanks Javier for coming and being our guest. It's been wonderful. You said a lot of great things, and I really mean that. Fantastic. So we hope to see you guys. Come to the conference in Portugal in May. Start making your plans now. Come, and we'll have a good experience. We'll bring all the girls we know there, and yeah, it'll be good.
Perfect.
And Javier, give your links to your book and everything, so to Serena, we'll post it.
Yeah, I'll take care of that, Zan, don't worry.
Okay, yeah.
Right now, or I can send you later in Facebook? Or
Yeah, we'll talk on Facebook, Javier.
Okay, perfect, guys.
Okay.
Good questions, guys. Thank you, Javier. It was really inspiring for me. I liked it a lot. Thank you.
My pleasure.
See you later, boys.
Bye, bastards.
See you.
Muchas gracias, chavalito.
You were in Amsterdam, no?
Yes, we've been in Amsterdam. I've been there. Yeah. We had a good time.
Rob was there
Especially with your
too.
buddies.
Nice to see you.
I'm in London. Hook me up if you come to London anytime.
I will. Okay. London is great. A lot of concerts, and I love to go there from time to time.
Great.
All right,
great.
guys. Adios.
Adios.
Really,
See you in Canberra, Xavier.